Welcome to the Born Unbreakable podcast. We are your hosts, Coach Des and DJ FNA.
Yeah, that's me. Hold on, we got hold on.
Okay.
I'm still getting the hang of this right here. Right here, like Coach Des. Let me take that off and go to me. Get Aaron, aka DJ FNA, right there. It's this this podcasting.
Gosh.
Oh my goodness, man. Woo.
It's a lot.
There's about a good almost month there
Mm-hmm.
that we had to sort out through a lot of stuff. So long story short, we had to change platforms. We want to make sure we give everybody the best experience. Like, we don't bullshit here. So originally we had the Born Unbreakable podcast. It was on Apple, iTunes, it was everything.
Everywhere.
It was just audio. And then if you want to watch video, you do YouTube.
Right.
But now we figured out how to do video on Apple
Mm-hmm.
and iTunes. And oh my gosh, my popcorn's ready. Hold on. There you go. Sorry.
Share with everyone.
We're energy efficient here. That was my fridge, my mini fridge telling me to shut the dough. Shut the dough.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So Spotify, Apple, we're
That's
on
right.
video now on
Mhm.
everything.
Yep.
So, I mean, for those of you that want to just see us,
Connect.
yeah,
On
see
a
us and hear
deeper
us.
level.
Yeah, we wanted to bring that to you guys. And we had to do this whole thing where because we changed platforms,
Yeah.
we had to re-upload every episode that has done in the past. Now we since we just reformatted everything, we were talking about maybe just starting off like this. But for those of you who really are Born Unbreakable fans, we wanted, and then also new fans, we want them to be able to go back
That's right.
and listen to a lot of great content that you've done in the past year.
Yes.
So we definitely wanted to do that. So that's the reason for the absence.
Yeah, what is going on
It
with
was like,
these
what's going on with
crazy
Des? Is she
people?
still alive? Did she hit the lottery? Did she meet a new man? What's going on?
All craziness is going on.
Let's go to some let's get into it, because first of all, there's a lot of stuff that happened in a month.
Well,
There's a lot of stuff that happens in a week.
I know.
So we got to catch up on a lot of stuff, but we're going to hit the main stuff.
That's right. And this is the Thanksgiving edition.
Yes.
So we'll get into some good topic here, but we're going to open up with two kind of major headlines.
Yeah.
One is interesting because it's local for us, but it's
Yes.
actually a world stage. So relevant to anybody who's been paying attention to sports and this thing we call Formula One.
Yes.
Just happened in Las Vegas.
I loved it. And okay, there was a lot of there was a lot of complaining about it. A lot of people loved it. There was a lot of criticism. There was drama. I mean, there was so much, but and let's go through it.
Well, so we're talking
Yeah.
about, Formula One coming, first of all, here for the first time.
Yes.
300
No. It was here before in the 1950s, I want to say.
Vegas?
Yes.
Okay.
They built a track at Caesar's Palace.
Mm.
Okay. And they did it for 2 years. I want to say it was in the 60s. I'll double check. But I know they said it was 40 years ago. What's 40 years ago?
Okay. Yeah.
What's 40 years ago?
It's like-
80s, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, may have been the 80s.
Yeah. That's
But
the 80s.
yeah, they said Formula One hadn't been here in 40 years. And they had it twice, but they didn't do it because they didn't get any good,
Yeah.
ratings, and it really didn't do good. But Vegas has changed
Right.
now.
It tremendously. And so
Yeah.
you're talking about 315,000
Oh, look at this crash right here.
attendees.
We had one good crash. It was
Right.
so good.
But think about that
Yeah.
for a minute.
Yeah.
315,000 people coming for this event from all over the world. So this is a world event, and that's why we attracted so many people. $500,000 spent, 1.2 billion anticipated.
Yeah.
Right?
And then okay, so let's go through this, okay? Because we live in Las Vegas. I'm from a small town. You're from the Bay Area. You guys had a lot of stuff. You have 2 football teams, basketball team,
Well, California in general, I mean, has a bunch of football.
Yeah, but let's talk about just the Bay
Yeah.
Area where you're from. You know, how many football teams do you have?
Yeah, 2.
2. How many baseball teams?
2.
How many basketball teams?
Just the word.
Just the one. Okay.
Well, no, actually, we have like the Sacramento Kings.
There you go.
Yeah. We have 2.
So, I mean, I'm from El Paso, Texas. We had Triple League baseball. that was it.
What?
I know we had like minor league hockey. It started off as like roller hockey, and then it got to ice hockey. Okay. And then our college was our biggest thing, you know?
UTEP.
Yeah. Now UTEP, mind
made a
you,
movie.
the last time they won a national championship was
Glory Road
1966. You know? I'm from a small town where like nothing, like anytime the city council gets together, you know, they want to bring something. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't have the money. So me being from a small town, I'm like, man, bring it all. You know? I mean, so I moved here in 2011.
Yeah.
Since then, we got, you know, I know we had a minor league baseball team kind of already, but they kind of revamped it. Got a football team, hockey team, WNBA. The Oakland A's just announced that they're going to be here.
Coming here, yeah.
They got the Pac-12 championship here.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have Super Bowl this year. And now Formula One.
Yeah.
You know?
Blossoming.
I mean, and we also had the rodeo stuff here, the World Finals here. So,
yep.
So, I mean, to me, it's like we are the entertainment capital of the world. We have the structure for it. Obviously, the people that are, and shout out to our city council people and the people of Las Vegas, the politicians that make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of money is involved, but I mean, it's a big deal for the city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's great. It's bringing stuff to the city. We're equipped for it. You know, we have all the production. We have everything. We made Formula One happen. It was, they got a good rating on TV. A lot of people tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I had never watched Formula racing before this.
Right.
I know a lot of people do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they made it like a star-studded event, you know?
Very much.
Yeah, and that's good because it does something to the sport. You know what I mean? And now, locals, Las Vegas locals.
Oh, man.
You know, they were just, you know, complaining about the traffic, that, you know, everything.
Well, because they closed down things 10 days before.
Yeah. And now, actually, it's been kind of, the traffic's been rough for about a couple of months because they've been
a lot of
building
construction.
stuff. Yeah.
So that's already, but you're talking about traffic being exacerbated because we already have construction going on of many other things. Then you have these road closures.
Yeah.
So it's even more. And think
And I
about the
get
people
it.
that work on the strip.
You know, you go to
Right.
work every day and then now all of a sudden your commute turns from 10 minutes to 15 minutes to 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And now
Mhm.
you're like, man, 45 minutes, I got to leave, you know, and it takes me 45 minutes to get home.
Right.
I get it, you know, but I mean, what else? I mean, did you not remember about the pandemic when everything was shut down and there was no work?
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it's like, I mean, it's like the world opened back up and we got everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And maybe that's the thing. Is just some people are just, it's like, it's overwhelming. It's like, well, Vegas was just the strip and a couple of bowl games and basketball games, and that was it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, it's just so much going on.
Yeah.
And not only that, you're talking about the WNBA wins the championship. The Vegas Golden Knights wins the championship.
Yeah.
The WNBA,
The Stanley Cup.
you know, wins another championship. You know, and now you got Super Bowl coming and Formula One, all this stuff. Like everything is happening in Vegas.
Right. And then on top of that, you're talking about a lot of growth because so many people have moved here.
Oh yeah, the city is
So
like
the
growing.
locals,
Yeah.
you know, get upset.
I mean, to get to your house, the new
the
hotel.
Durango Casino. I boycotted literally there's the road Durango. I boycotted because it adds 10 to 15 minutes because of the congestion that's right there. So I haven't been going on that road.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because I hadn't gotten stuck in traffic. Maybe that's why I'm biased.
Well, you know, but too, on the other hand, being from California and knowing what real crazy traffic looks like, this pales in comparison, although there's times where I feel like it's getting close. So, you know, talking about the two sides of the coin. So there's also the lawsuit that's happened, like 35,000 people that are, upset. They want their money back because on the first night of Formula One, which was Thursday, they had to shut down, right?
Yeah.
And have people leave because of some issues that they were having, and people were upset because they paid so much money to see this event. They're like, seriously? And so they had to fix those issues. And then Friday and Saturday were okay. But a lot of people
we'll show it right here.
A lot of people were upset.
So what happened? So for those of you that don't really know Formula One, it's a 3-day event. There's one day where they do practice runs. The second day they do a practice run and then a qualifying round. And then on the third day is the actual race. So, and I don't know if that really showed it there. Let me see if I can get something else of what happened.
Of why they had to shut down.
Yeah, but yeah. So, oh yeah, here we go. So, so let me just show you right here. This is great. So, you see sparks flying, right? So a manhole, a little water, like the little, the manholes, it was a water one, not like the huge one, not like the sewer ones, but a small one. And these cars are going very fast, and it like vibrated up and ricocheted, and it caught. Now these cars are like a couple of inches from the ground. So when it caught, that thing just like messed up the car. You're talking about $1 million. There you go, right there. $1 million worth of damage, and that thing like popped up, and everybody's like, so obviously they had to shut down the practice. Now, here's the thing. So you can buy tickets to the practices, right? And and that's good because they have the race. It's only for like an hour and a half, but you can buy tickets and watch the practice because it's just as exciting to see the cars go by, you know? So those people that spent money to watch that practice, obviously they didn't get to see anything because they had to fix that. They had to make sure it was secure
and
so they can go on. So, now those people, those tickets that they bought, it's almost like going to a football game and they're like, oh, okay, well, sorry, like first play of the game, and then they have to shut down the whole game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is, I'm pretty sure it's happened. Like, games have gotten canceled, but it's like, dude, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure in the ticket somewhere in the fine print and somewhere where, they're going to see that they're not liable for it.
Right.
But you know what? Here's the thing. I know Formula One, they're going to, they're going to give those people something. They're going to say, you know what, even if it's in the fine print, I think it's more of a, you don't want to be put in the bad press. Like, you did everybody wrong. You did some fans wrong. I think they're going to make it right.
Yeah.
But oh man, the ceremony, man, the opening ceremony, that was really cool. You had a lot of artists performing, and of course, man, they did it big. They did it Vegas style because the whole thing about that, and we'll show a little bit here, but while we talk about it, but yeah, you talk about lighting galore. You got you had 30 Seconds to Mars, Keith Urban,
J Balvin.
Oh my, okay, so Stevie Aoki. Journey was there, and it was like a great, it was
John
like a really good show. They had the Blue Man Group.
Yep.
But the cool thing is, man, everybody's talking about J Balvin. His cone,
yeah, crazy,
and it was great, man. But yeah, you had Journey, come out and perform. That was pretty cool. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, go online and just type in Formula One opening ceremony.
30 minutes.
Hopefully you have a good sound system, and man, just put that on. It's a good 30-minute show of like a lot of artists, and they all got like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was really great. Yeah, Stevie Aoki did it big, but yeah, and you got lasers, you got everything. It was great. So let's go to like
and then the post event with the fireworks.
Oh yeah, that was great. But yeah, this is definitely like Vegas, man, and I think this was really smart by Formula One because they knew bringing it here, it's going to be a show.
Yeah.
On
another level.
Yeah. Now, and we'll talk about what, what they anticipated. I mean, because they were anticipating a lot of money, and I think a lot of people have spent money. A lot of people came to Vegas. But yeah, there was. I don't think they did as well as they thought. So this is the talk right here, J Balvin. People were like, "What is he wearing?"
What is
And it's
happening?
basically it looks like a cone, like not the cylinder cone
Right.
that you see out there on the highway, which is so cool because I'm just like, you know what, like, is this the Met Gala?
Coming
Like,
out
what
with
the hell? But you know what?
oversized
Shout out to J
outfit.
Balvin. You know what I mean? People are talking about it.
But that's who he is, though.
Yeah,
If you've ever seen him perform,
he always wears like
he's
But
over the
I
top.
just want to know, like, you know, when they're talking about, hey, bro, what are you gonna wear? And somebody just goes,
A
dude,
cone.
what if you wear a cone? You know what I mean? And he came out with it, man, and he rocked it. Which, like, it's funny because you wonder, you're like, you know, now if this was like a girl, you'd be like, oh my God, what is she hiding? Is she
Well,
pregnant? What's
oh,
going on?
yeah,
Did she get fat? You know what I mean? Like, that would have been like a whole thing, you know?
Right.
But I mean, obviously, for J Balvin, it was just like, what is he
Yeah.
wearing? And then people were like, it's a cone.
He's just extra.
Yeah. So that, I mean,
It reminded me of that Kanye West video.
yeah. And then, oh yeah, I forgot. Let me see. I'll go to the end. Obviously, you got the fireworks. John Legend, fireworks in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Just awesome, man.
But yeah, it was like that for the opening, the closing.
It was great. And then, I mean, yeah, the sphere,
Oh,
the track was
dope.
cool.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is what's interesting. Like in the past couple of years, like when the pandemic happened, you had total closure, nothing on the strip. I went down there and took a picture of just nothing, nothing, like a ghost town almost, very eerie. But
you'll see a lot of reels though where people were talking about
now
casinos.
now you have the whole strip as a racetrack. You know, okay, so so yeah, because of Formula One, a lot of people were probably like, well, there's going to be closures. So it probably took a lot of people away from the casinos. But it was an event. Yeah. You know, that took place on November. Now, here's the thing. Everybody, if you live in Vegas, you know, after October, October is like the last time you'll have a pool party open and everything. It's like slow season. Okay. Formula One didn't do this like peak season, you know, in the summertime. You know, this is pretty much slow season, you know, but a lot of people did come into town. You have, what did they say? What was it, like 300,000 people?
Yeah, over 300,000.
Yeah, that came into town, that slept, that went to restaurants and everything. Now here's the thing. This is, Formula One has contracted for 10 years. They're going to be here for 10 years, doing this for 10 years. This is the first time. I'm pretty sure they're going to learn a lot and change a lot of stuff.
Just like anything.
Probably make it easier. Probably make it, you know, they're going to see what they did wrong and you know, fix it. But it's going to be interesting because now, I mean, obviously, I think Super Bowl will be better because it's going to be at the stadium. And because even for like a Golden Knights game, Golden Knights, they play, people come, and right after they go to the casinos, right, or to the restaurants, to the bars, you know, and it's I know it's a lot better, but I know for Formula One, I think it was just a lot of this like, there's going to be closures. Like everybody it was just like, I don't think people thought maybe like, well, is there even access to the hotel? You know what I mean? Are they even going to let anybody, because I know there was all this thing, but they didn't want people to see unless you got a ticket. They were blocking off the bridges so you couldn't see. So a lot of people were probably like, well, why are we going to go down there? We can't see anything. Yeah. You know, it probably just, you know, there was so much restrictions. People just said, well, why are we going to go down there? Because it was weird because a lot of people were saying like, well, there's not a lot of traffic the days of the Formula One because it was just so much like they're going to shut the strip down. Some a lot of people were like, okay, well then we're not going to go there, you know? Right. And obviously people that were there to watch Formula One. Right. So, you know,
very interesting.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes in the next 10 years, next 9 years. Yeah. We have 9 more to go. And I think they'll do good, you know? But yeah, Formula One, I liked it. I know a lot of people didn't like it. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, I think anything that helps to boost an economy, bring something new energy, new excitement. Yeah. You know?
I mean, I was booked all 3 days DJ.
Yeah. So, yeah, for sure.
You know, it was good. Yeah. So I like it. So moving on. What else? Okay. Here's the thing. So I know we kind of been away for a while.
Yeah.
And obviously the big news is what's going on in Israel.
Yeah.
That whole thing. And many of you guys know, there was a terrorist attack by Hamas, came in. They killed
On October
7th. They killed
they
about
killed 12,000 people.
12. I thought it was 1,200.
Mm.
Double check that because I'm pretty sure it was like 1,200.
It was the most since the war in 1948.
Yeah. So I mean, one is one too many, but we'll get those figures right. But so, and here's the thing about this war. It may be very confusing to a lot of people because when that happened, obviously it was an attack on innocent civilians. So obviously that's going to make a lot of people really upset. But I think what happened here in America was there was a lot of Arab, Muslim, Palestinian people who had a different point of view of that, and they were speaking on it, and it's turned into this whole thing where people are saying, "Oh, well, you're terrorized sympathizers," but there's a huge story, and here's the thing. I mean, this thing is just bad. It's bad. You're talking about, it's weird because, here in America, a lot of people are like, okay, well, man, Jewish people were oppressed. And then now you go like, well, damn, like, there's a lot of, Palestinians and Arabs and Muslims who are upset as well. You have to know the whole story of what is going on over there. And and you'll hear, there's a lot of people that are upset right now because, of course, you have innocent people that get killed, and it was an attack, So Israel, the United States has always backed Israel because they are an ally in a very unstable region, So obviously the United States is going to back up Israel, but at the same time, if you go back and learn the history, and I'm pretty sure we're going to talk more about this, and I definitely want to get a couple of friends that are in here that are Jewish and really dive into this, because I think a lot of people need to understand the whole history of this to really understand why this has all happened. Because you have a Hamas group. So, we're not going to go to the whole history, but pretty much in the nutshell, you have Palestinians and Israelis and Jewish people. Israel.
And this started all the way
this
from
is
before World
way
War.
back. Yeah. So basically you had Hamas is a small political group, which has turned into a terrorist organization now. They started off as a political group and kind of morphed into this terrorist group. So they pretty much are the resistance to Israel. And they fought back. They hit Israel. And now Israel is retaliating and trying to find, and the United States, and if those of you who've lived through 9/11, you guys know. So when 9/11 happened, we went after Osama bin Laden.
Right.
And we went after Saddam Hussein, which a lot of people know how that ended up. So Israel's going to go and look, and they have to respond. Okay. Right. Something like that happens, they're going to respond. They're going and looking for Hamas. Unfortunately, Hamas has built a lot of their tunnels and stuff under civilian buildings.
Yeah.
Now, there's been a lot of bombardment, and what you're seeing on the news right now is a lot of Palestinian people being killed. So it's such a bad situation, and here's the thing, man, like, as a human, man, you have to, if you're human, you don't want to ever see any kid, woman, child go through that. Every day you're just hearing about, more kids, more families, more civilians. And it's just like, there's been opportunities of peace.
Yeah. There's been many opportunities of peace. So, and it is 1,200.
Yeah.
1,200. I apologize.
And I hope that they really figure this out. And it's very unfortunate because you have religion,
But see, this is why it's important to make sure that people take the time to understand the history.
Yes.
Because we're talking about arguably over 100 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more so understood when the British in 1917 decided that Jewish should have a base in Palestine. And then things got incited in 1948 when there was a war because of that decision. It built up to that. So technically 75 years if you start it from the point when a war began. Yeah, and there were peace agreements that have occurred, like during the Bill Clinton administration in the 1990s. There's been many attempts at different decisions, like a 2-state situation. Yeah. And so, we're talking, and then you're talking about different leaders through the course of that time that have taken over.
And it's very complex because the leader of Israel, his name, I mean, he right now is not very favorable, because he's actually more of like a right wing. Benjamin Netanyahu.
Netanyahu.
Okay, yeah, I know I was gonna mess that up.
Netanyahu, yeah.
Benjamin Netanyahu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's more of like a far right over there, and there's actually in Israel, there's a lot of people that don't really agree with him. Now, if you look at, if you go through the history, obviously you're going to go, okay, well, what happened to Jewish people in World War II is horrific. It was horrific. And now this happens and you go, okay, well, yeah, like this is happening, like Jewish hate. It sucks. You know what I mean? And here in America, but at the same time, you have this a lot of Palestinians who say, well, a lot of our land was taken away.
Like, wait a minute, hold on.
So and then you look at Gaza, the Gaza Strip. Israel controls import-exports. There's like a third world country. And when you hear third world, we're talking like third world. People on top of people, limited resources. It's really bad over there. So it's like people just have nothing left to lose. You know what I mean? So it's just a very volatile situation. But at the same time, I want to remind people that when 9/11 happened, it was very good that George Bush went to a mosque and made it a point to say we are at war with Islamic extremists, not Islamic or Muslim people.
That's right.
So it's very complex. So I know a lot of people hearing a lot of different things right now. But I mean, one good thing right now is there's hostages right now that are they're in talks right now about doing a short-term ceasefire, a pause on the war. They want to do for every one Israel hostage, they want to get 3 Palestinian prisoners. Yeah. So there's going to be a switch there. A trade. Definitely want to pray for those. I know we have there's an American girl who's 3, about to be 4 years old on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I can't imagine them for 45 days being held somewhere, in a tunnel for 45 days, her parents were both executed in front of her. And her family is just praying for her to come back. So we really hope that they come back. Man, and there's so much news, podcasts, everybody talking about this. And it seems like, whatever you say, you're going to offend somebody because it's such a messed up situation on both sides. But please, if you really want to understand it, please go and look at the history. There's a lot of things on YouTube that shows the whole history about this. And it's so complex because there's no right or wrong side. There's no, you know what I mean? There's evil actions. There's things that people have done. There's a lot of stubbornness. You know what I mean? Because
you're talking about religion.
Yeah.
And if we talk about that generally in all of our history in the world,
I mean, for thousands of years, people have killed in the name of God and the church and you know what I mean? And Christianity, like how many people have died over Christianity?
I mean, any religion, right? So
it's hard because you have people, I mean, you go, okay, well, there's so much space out there. Why can't they just like get along? And it's like, but there's some people that, I mean, when you ask people in Israel, they're like, they just want a Jewish state. That's it. Just Jewish people there, you know? And then you have Jerusalem, which is holy to 3 different religions. And it's, you know, to me, I understand that people are very religious. I know obviously, if somebody were to come up in your home and just walk around and use your bathroom and wear your clothes, you'd be pretty pissed off. I get it. So I understand that people get really upset, you know, if like someone who's Jewish goes into the mosque and disrespects and there's this whole thing, you know. But man, at the end of the day, when you see these kids and everybody just being killed, you're like, for what? For a building? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know? And I don't want to offend anybody's religion, but I mean, I get it, you know? It's just like, at the end of the day, man, like, you know, what did Hamas accomplish? They just, now here's the thing. I understand Palestinians. When I was, you know, I kind of knew the whole thing, but when this happened, I really went back and really studied the whole history to understand this. And there's a lot of things that both sides have just done that just hasn't been good. And initially, I think, you know, the people in that region who were already there got pushed out, you know, and they really don't have anywhere else to go. So, I mean, I understand, you know, Palestinians, it's just like, you know, a lot of them, and a lot of Palestinians do not support Hamas, you know?
Yeah, but you have to understand it's 2 different things.
Yeah, it's weird. 2 different things. Because you have Israel, some Israelis really don't like Benjamin, you know, Bibi, they call him Bibi, you know? Palestinians don't really support Hamas, so there's a lot of, you know, just fight. And then you have Iran that's just kind of backing, you know, Hezbollah, you know, in Lebanon. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and that's just really unfortunate. So, I mean, man, I mean, you know, the thing about this is that you just hope that somebody lit a match and a lot of fireworks went off, and it kind of put things into perspective on both sides. Like, there's a lot of people that have been killed in the last month or so.
Yeah, just month.
And that didn't need to.
A little over a month.
You know? And you went and, I mean, and Hamas went and poked a bear and they got it back tenfold, man. Like, you know, hopefully they go, there's got to be another solution, you know?
Violence is not ever a solution that produces good outcomes.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's more about power. It's about making a statement. But when so many people die, what statement does that really leave you?
Well, and you know, it's hard because if you look at the United States history, you know, people forget. I mean, there's a lot of people that can say, okay, well, you guys went and dropped 2 atomic bombs on 2 civilian cities in Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killed hundreds of thousands of people to end the war. Now, it was a big statement. Obviously, Japan, they attacked Pearl Harbor, and it was just like all out vengeance, you know? But a lot of people were like, you know, that was necessary to send a message to end the war, you know? Fortunately, now, Japan is an ally. It's not this thing that's gone on back and forth, you know? But, I mean, it's man, I know a lot of people say, well, you know, you're in that situation, you don't want to use it, you know, force. And look at Israel. If they would have been like, if that would have happened and they would have been like, you know what? We don't want any killings. We're just going to go and not bomb, but like try to negotiate. They would have gotten mad at them. Like, I mean, look at like 9/11. When 9/11 happened, every Democrat and Republican, most of them, except for a couple of them, were saying, yes, let's go to war. We're going to go. Okay. Then it was like, okay, we're going to go to Iraq. And they were like, Iraq had nothing to do with it, but let's go anyway. And people were so emotional in that time. And unfortunately, it was just, you know, but I mean, and I mean, I think that obviously there's been a lot of bombardment in Gaza.
Yeah.
They're trying to hit many targets, but I mean, it's like when we went to Iraq and you're trying to fight Al Qaeda,
Yeah.
and then they mix within civilians. It's guerrilla warfare. It's so hard, you know.
Yeah.
So it's really it's very difficult, that whole situation. But the fact that there's talks of them trading hostages and doing a ceasefire, hopefully there's just been so much death and destruction that has gone down that both sides are like, you know what? Okay, like
It's exhausting.
now the emotions have gone out a little bit. You know what I mean? The holidays are coming up, and that means a lot for a lot of people.
I mean, we'll see. It's such a long-standing situation that you have to appreciate when there's progress like this, and continue to just pray and support the situation, and recognize that there's truth to both sides, right?
Yeah, I mean it. Yeah, I mean, man, it sucks because you see, like, I mean, even when that first started, when you were seeing, those kids at the festival just having a good time, and then just boom, they just get hit. Just talking about babies being beheaded, and families being killed, just slaughtered, just
unbelievable,
just all out, just terrorist
destruction,
and it sucks because they did that, and it was just like, man, it's it's like it's equivalent to maybe somebody in a neighborhood that just goes and shoots a cop. Man, you're gonna have the whole force come down on you.
Yeah, I mean,
it just, I mean, Hamas went in there and did that, and it came back tenfold. Because I mean, I don't know how many Palestinians have died.
I mean, but you're talking about the worst devastation, destruction, and darkness that has,
I mean, you're talking about 13,000 Palestinians on the Gaza Strip being killed. I mean, 13,000 to the 1,200. It just, Hamas just went and they just put their own people, in
harm's way.
It's just kind of like when a gang goes and tries to kill somebody, and then the other gang comes back and retaliates and shoots up the whole neighborhood, and a bunch of it's like, dude, you went and provoked somebody, and now they did a drive-by and shot innocent women and children. It's such a cowardly thing, man. So hopefully both sides goes, you know what, this was really bad. We got to figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They have to figure something out, man, because I mean, it's just going to get worse. I mean, we already have, Russia, Ukraine going on. China's talking about, maybe taking over Taiwan. That's a whole nother thing. So, man,
yeah,
the world. Hopefully this kind of puts everybody else in perspective, and thank God. I mean, it was good that President from China, she was yeah, right. Xi Jinping. Yeah, I don't make sure I
Work
get
on
this
all
right.
the pronunciations.
Yeah. Xi Jinping. Okay, the president from China came to meet with President Biden in San Francisco, the Bay Area. And that's good to see, because you're talking about in the South China Sea, there's been a lot of China and U.S. forces kind of strategically setting up, together in the South China Sea, and then you have this whole talks about Taiwan and stuff. So it's good that they're meeting and trying to figure something out, because Israel and Palestinians going to war is really bad, but United States and China, that's the end of the war. I mean, that's the end of the world. Yeah. So We got to make sure that I mean, and hopefully this really bad thing that's happened in Israel kind of reminds everybody how foolish this is. Like, just, I mean, why? You know, because you see this on TV and there's social media and it gets spread really, these graphic images get spread
really fast.
Hopefully around the world, just reminding people this is bad.
Yeah.
Like for what?
I mean, but we've seen this.
There's enough space in this world, man.
You know, but
man,
there's a lot. I mean, talk about the importance of foreign affairs.
Yeah.
And you know what it means to create bridges and not divide people even further.
Yeah. So we're not trying to put a dark cloud before you guys have Thanksgiving.
But I mean, because
we really wanted to talk about some good stuff, but just things we just have to talk about because I know it's going to be an issue. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to be talking. I mean, man, Thanksgiving. I know Thanksgiving is kind of like anxiety now because you got to meet with a lot of your relatives that you don't disagree with politically, and you know,
so many things, you know. But and that's the reason why, you know, really getting to the topic of what we wanted to touch bases with you all on right now is the holidays and mental health, you know, and what this time of the year does for people. It's a double-sided coin because on the one hand, it's time for people supposed to recharge, rejuvenate, connect, you know, take your time off from work, visit family and loved ones. But you also have to understand the other side of that coin is anxiety, sadness, depression, money issues, you know, a lot of things that actually incite stress for people during this time. And so we wanted to take a pause, you know, hopefully to reflect on some gratitude. But
there's a lot of studies that are coming out right now, right? That are about people stressing out. That you know, and like during the holidays, there's more suicides go up.
According to the American Psychological Association, 38% of people surveyed said their stress increased during the holiday season, which can lead to physical illness, depression, anxiety, and substance abuse. And the reasons given are lack of time, financial pressure, gift giving, and family gatherings. And that is from October 2023.
So, yes, there's been inflation, you know, prices have gone up, but they're, you know, they're actually kind of coming down a little bit. You know, gas is coming down a little bit. You know, things are kind of leveling off. You have a lot of this stuff that's going on in the world. There's a lot of I mean, if you're I know there's a lot of Russian and Ukrainian people who are in the United States, you know, that are affected by this. I was having dinner the other day and ran into somebody who was from Uzbekistan, and his girlfriend was from Ukraine, and her parents were actually. She was talking that her parents are over there right now. You know, they're safe, but you know, it's kind of nerve-wracking. You know, there's a lot of Jewish and Palestinian people here. I mean, we have a lot of friends that are Jewish, and you know, so they're kind of going through all that. And yeah, man, it's just there's the holidays. It's supposed to be that time where it's like, okay, it's Christmas time, it's Thanksgiving, it's supposed to be good, you know. But it just seems like now there's just a lot going on. You know, there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of, obviously, the middle class is shrinking a little bit. There's more people that are, you know, just a paycheck away from being in poverty. Mm-hmm. When the pandemic happened, it shifted a lot of stuff, you know. And, you know, with social media now, I think people are looking at social media and they're still comparing themselves to other people. They see other people doing good and constantly. They say the thing, and the people are constantly evaluating themselves and seeing that, oh, you know, I'm not doing good. They're being constantly reminded where they fit in life or how well they're doing compared to others. So yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot.
And we're seeing locally a lot of things, right? Like
so today
at the Walmart.
Yeah, today I was like, okay, I need to go get some detergent. I go to Sam's, and where I go to, there's a Walmart and a Sam's in Southwest Las Vegas, and I pull up and there's like cop cars everywhere, yellow tape, everything. I'm just like, oh man, I'm thinking, okay, there's a bad shoplifting or something, you know. And then of course you're thinking, okay, well maybe somebody stole something. But then you see so many cop cars and you go, okay, so many cop cars, definitely a shooting. And sure enough, yeah, there was an altercation in the parking lot, and where somebody got shot. Where I like go to go get my groceries every day. I'm like, somebody died there today. And then you go on the news and what happened?
Ohio.
In Ohio.
4 people injured and the gunman commit suicide.
I mean, and we don't know what happened, whether it was,
another Walmart.
Another Walmart. And now you're thinking, I mean, my goodness, you go, okay, well, people are out there trying to holiday shop, and then
Black Friday's coming and all this kind of thing.
And then now you have to worry about mass shootings now. Man, and I get it, man. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that, it's funny because I always hear like people go, oh man, the world's going to shit out, Yes and no, it depends on what, experiences you're having, I mean, for me, I've never felt really in danger in Vegas, but I know that dangerous things happen all the time. I mean, had I would have shown up there maybe 30 minutes before, would I have witnessed that? My girls were with me, bullets are flying, you know what I mean? And you're just like, man, like there was a shooting, like somebody just went and shot somebody like right there, like 30 minutes before I got there. And you're just like, man, but I don't feel fearful, but I know there's a lot of people that get very traumatized. They have anxiety by going out,
and it's
thankfully we got Amazon. People can actually go, you know what? Nowadays, if you don't want to leave home, if you work from home and you can order everything, you can literally stay at home all the time.
You know what? And in all seriousness, a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And they want to do that. They don't want to go out and risk anything. Everything from the germs still lingering.
But then you go home and then you go crazy. Then there's mental. Then you get like people get like stuck at home and go crazy.
Yeah, but so you have to put, the importance is putting things into perspective, right? Because you can't spend a life in fear, because that is not a life where you're living.
Yeah.
And that's we're going to get into more topics on politics, but people and media feed off of that.
Yeah.
Is creating environments where people are fearful, and then it distracts you from the important things in your life.
There's something that I'm at that pisses me off every year. It's been getting worse and worse. And it's the and to me, it is corporations who kind of help create this anxiety. So I've always, growing up, had this tradition with my family where after Thanksgiving, you start decorating for Christmas. But every year, it seems like more and more like now, after Halloween, October 31st, if you go to the store, you will see Christmas stuff being put up. And I'm like, it's October 31st, November 1st. Why is there Christmas stuff still up? Already up,
Yeah.
Now, that isn't, here's the thing. It's not corporations going, well, we're just so ready and festive. It's not. It's to sell.
It's subliminally to make you spend money.
Yes, they want to get those fourth quarter earnings out as fast as possible. You know what I mean? Let's get this merchandise up. Let's get people, start in that Christmas spirit of buying right now. It's all subliminal. And to me, I get really mad because I'm like, no, I'm not going to put my Christmas tree up until after Thanksgiving. It's funny because me and Ariane have this conversation all the time, because every year it's like, well, why don't we put it up, sooner, and I'm like, no, because it's supposed to be after. It's still like, I will not watch a Christmas movie until after Thanksgiving.
I personally, I don't have strong feelings about the holidays. I actually get anxiety and want to get past it. So,
So, okay, so you just said that. Why do you get anxiety?
Because of all of this, everything that you just said.
Yeah.
I don't like control. And I understand the media and corporations and what they try to do.
Mm-hmm.
And people fucking buy into all that shit.
Yeah.
And I am like the antithesis of it, you know, and for me, and so here's what it comes down to for me. I don't buy into it. I don't buy into buying all the stuff and the decorations and all of that stuff. And I'm not trying to hate, because I have friends who are jolly, so jolly, and they will play their Christmas list, bust out their Mariah Carey and Ariana Grande and all the things. And that's fine. And that's cool. I know that what it's doing to prey on people.
Yeah.
For me, the joy that I get out of the holidays is being with my family, because I do think that's very important. I think, you know, for somebody like me, who my devotion in life is to work, you know, when the amount of responsibilities I have, there's a tremendous amount of pressure. And so for me, like, work is my life. And so taking these little moments to take a break and be with family, that's what it is to me. But I think the other thing that I've had to personally turn to get gratification out of the holidays is giving. And so for me, and that's just me personally, it's either giving monetarily and finding the things that I care about, that I want to contribute to. And then 2, it's giving my time. And so that's me personally.
So it's not that you don't like the holidays.
Well, and you know, and I have my own things.
Because you're kind of going on a Scrooge kind of vibe.
No, a little bit. Like,
but then you say you like giving stuff. So,
no, so yeah, it's for me, it's a different kind of, because, you know, fortunately, I have things. I don't need like gifts. I don't need people to give me things. I'd rather just spend time.
Yeah.
You know, and the same thing with the people I care about. It's always a struggle because they have what they need. So it's like, you just want to give gifts that are thoughtful.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's, you know, again, and then you don't want to.
I'm pretty sure your nieces would beg to differ. We don't have everything we want.
Right. Yeah. That's a whole nother subject. But, you know, like every freaking Lululemon thing there is to ever purchase. But it's tough, you know.
Shout out to Jasmine.
Right. We were there literally today, and both kids got a Lululemon something. So legit. Yeah. Legit. We went to Lululemon today with my nieces, and they walked out with stuff. God, it's already starting. You know, but
what else gets you anxiety about the holidays?
2, it's, you know, my dad passed away. Mm-hmm. His birthday is also in December.
What day?
December 8th.
Okay, yeah. So it's basically still in the holidays.
Yeah. And so it's for me, it's like, you know, and for a lot of people. So, you know, there's a lot of people that have lost loved ones, and they're trying to have both like their memories, but they also feel a lot of sadness, because the way that they celebrate and the way that it's more of trying to remember what it's like to be, you know, with that loved one and things like that. So they can't be there with you to celebrate. So you have to figure out how to remember and celebrate them.
So how do you deal with the anxiety of the holidays? Are there a couple of things that you do, or you just keep yourself busy? Do you?
Totally.
I mean, because do you go to like holiday parties? I mean, there's stuff that friends do, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, do you decorate your house? You don't decorate your house? I
have the kids do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I told you, I'm anti. So
you don't even put up a star on a tree, little guy?
No. There's a tree and there's like stuff, but I won't like go out of my way to buy extra shit like for the tree, because we're like, great, reuse the tree and reuse the decorations, because it's just a ploy to get you to buy more shit. So I'm just like, every time I see all of it come out, I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, and for me, I mean, having kids,
it's different.
Yeah, you have to like, you know,
have to be like that person. So.
You can't be, excuse me, you can't be, I mean, for me, I get it, but I know that I'm like, man, you know what, I can't deprive my kids. But at the same time, it's like, you know, one of the things that I really loved growing up was that my family had this tradition where they would help out other families. Man, this definitely humbled me when I was a kid. You know, going on my and I don't know if I told the story before, but my family had a grocery store, and my grandmother, they did this whole thing where they would get letters from kids, you know, who wanted gifts, and then they would go to the community and get those gifts for those kids. And being a border town, we would go across to Mexico and Juarez and give gifts. Now, I mean, we would give gifts, but we were going to places where, I mean, you're talking about cylinder block walls with a tarp roof and dirt floors with an outhouse. I'm like, we're sitting there, you know, obviously, yeah, you see these kids that are appreciative and happy, but you see where they live and how it just, man, does it humble you as a child?
And I guess, you know,
so for me, I started that here. So, and as I got older, my Aunt Bonnie continued the tradition where she would ask for, you know, either money or to help out and everything. So since I moved over here to Vegas, as soon as I had kids, I was like, we're going to do that. And it's good because, you know, I'll reach out to people with, you know, at schools or people that I know and say, look, just give me like 3 or 4 families and get a Christmas list, but also a grocery list. And I'll go and do that, you know? And I think it's very important that my kids see that because they need to know it's like how fortunate they are. So to me, it's like, I definitely want to give them, you know, great Christmases and everything. But at the same time, I think I want to instill in them that this is the season where you should be thankful. And it's not about getting stuff. It's about also giving.
Yeah. I just, you know? I don't know. I feel.
But you do this.
Yeah.
But you go and volunteer during the holidays, right?
I do. But I think that this is where I have trouble in America because there are many we are an entitled country.
Yeah.
And what do kids expect? They want gifts.
Yeah.
And if there's no gifts, it's a shitty Christmas, right? Like it's, you know, and of course, I think it's the life experience that I've had because I've been to third world countries and I've helped them do things that we take for granted every day. And I think that's why it's, you know, it's challenging for me because I see so much of how here it's like gifts. And I'm like, there's kids that have no shoes. And I'm not saying that, you know, we shouldn't enjoy life because yes, you know, we if you're fortunate to enjoy things and buy things, like, yes, but I always think that there's a bigger picture and it's important to see that. Mm-hmm. So at the same time, like what you're saying is as excited as, you know, it is to get something, you have to recognize that not everybody has that time.
Yeah.
To be opening a present.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about like right now about, you know, the 4-year-old girl that about to turn 4 years old. That's a hostage right now. Their family just wants her to be alive and to come home. That's it, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, so, yeah, I think, hopefully, you know, the world is becoming humbled with a lot of the stuff that's going on, you know? After seeing so much violence throughout the year, you kind of want to feel like, okay, well, man, can everything just settle down, you know? But a lot of people do. I understand that the anxiety of wanting to do stuff for your kids, the pressure of trying to get gifts, you know? There's a lot of people that are just like, man, just struggling to pay bills right now. And can't even think about, man, now I got to buy like, you know, $300-$400 thing, you know, for somebody. It's funny because then you start getting into petty stuff. Like people start going like, oh my gosh, like how much do you give somebody at the office? I mean, let's keep it a minimum, you know?
Well, that's why people do white elephants. Yeah. So you can just get one gift and there's a limit on it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and hopefully, you know, your family can kind of come up with stuff like that, you know? Because I know like, you know, when you come from big families, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get everybody, you know? Where, you know, that's why it's good that people do stuff like white elephants and, you know, Secret Santa stuff, because I think that stuff was made by families that would like, we're not as fortunate. Like, okay, we're going to do this whole thing so that, you know, everybody can get a gift, but like nobody has to give a gift for everybody. Right. You know what I mean? Because it is kind of like, it does get overwhelming. But yeah, there's a lot of people that maybe have divorced, lost somebody. And when the holidays come up, it's kind of like, it's more intense. Mm-hmm. So, because obviously it's like, oh, everybody's getting together. If you had just lost somebody, mm-hmm. you know, the holidays are just going to be the worst. Because you're like, man, because essentially the holidays is like you want to spend time with the people you love the most. And when the people you love the most, when somebody's missing, it's extra, you know? I know that when my sister passed away, it just, you know, there's always just like, things just don't feel complete, you know, ever. But yeah, I mean, if you're out there, man, and you're, I think it's really good to just talk, you know, not to keep it in. And ask, I mean, if you want to do something for somebody, okay, this doesn't cost anything. Just ask people, just check on people. That can probably be the best gift that you can give all year during these times, just to ask somebody. People at work or somebody you feel like maybe you're just not having a good day, you know, anywhere. Hey, how are you doing? You know, how's everything going? Are you okay? You know, I'm here if you ever need to talk. I mean, just little things like that. You know, I know you're better, you know, at that. You know, what are a couple of things that somebody can ask somebody during this time?
Yeah, it's just what can I do to support you and uplift you during this time? What are and time just it goes a long way. You know, not everything is money.
And I know it's hard because some people kind of get in like they're like, oh, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to, you know.
But I think I think the mistake people make, and so my encouragement is doing this now is paramount. Like it matters so much during this time when there's a lot of pressure, where there is anxiety, where there's, mourning. But I think it's just an example of what you could be doing generally, right? Is like, it's not just like, oh gosh, I feel bad. Now, like at the end of the year is when I'm going to check in on somebody after I haven't talked to them for like a year or 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Like that, even just that goes a long way with friends, people that you care about. Hey, just checking in, want to see how things are going, like it makes a difference.
Now, if somebody just lost somebody, how do you approach them?
I mean, and that's where I think what can I do to support you goes a long way, because you're not making an assumption about what that person needs. There's some people who might need space.
Yeah.
There's some people who might just need a shoulder to lean on. There's some people that just want to be able to cry, and they don't expect you to do anything except for, listen. And so because that looks different for every person, you don't ever want to assume what that is. And there's, and if it's a struggle, because some people are introverts or they feel like, oh, kind of like you said, they don't want to approach someone, even sending a card, like, doing something where you're reaching out and expressing and then opening the door for somebody to reach back out to you is just allowing them to know the door is open, right? In whatever way that you feel most comfortable doing that. But now there's so many ways.
Now, what about somebody who is feeling that pressure of financially? Like, oh my gosh, Christmas is coming up. I got to get my boyfriend something, my girlfriend something, my husband something, my kids something, and do you run out the credit card? Do you? No. I know you're always going to say no. It's always like, don't spend money you don't have. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, honestly, and you hear this even from people with money.
Yeah.
Like, and this is what I find very interesting, is because even when people who have acquired so much will tell you that it's not having material things that make you feel good, right? You think it will, but it's temporary, it's fleeting. And so it's usually experiences that they invest in. And so planning the time with your family to do things together, whether that's going out and looking at all the Christmas lights or, making hot chocolate and playing games, like there's a lot of things that you can do that are minimal and that are those experiences that, especially between, let's say, significant others.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's, hey, we're going to sacrifice on big gifts for each other. Let's have a nice experience together. And then we'll decide what budget is appropriate for the kids.
I know there's a lot of couples out there that'll go, hey, look, like, they won't make it a big deal. But there are some couples, you'll hear these weird stories where people are like, last year my boyfriend spent $1,000 on me, and this year he only spent $500 on me. What the fuck? Man, you'll hear those because like you'll watch like shows like, The View or other podcast shows, and somebody will come out, oh, there's a story about this woman that says, my husband bought me, $1,000 gift last year, but only bought me $500. Should I be worried about my marriage? You're just like, what?
You should be worried about your marriage. The fact that that's what you're worried about.
Yeah. But I mean, and hopefully you're not in that situation, man. And if you are, man, that's no. Yeah, that's not cool.
But I think it puts things into perspective.
Yeah, I think
it puts relationships into perspective when there's expectations that are placed on material things that,
I'd like to know how many people out there are in that situation, and it sucks if you are. Have you ever been in that situation in any of your marriages where there was like an expectation?
No, not me. Mm-mm.
But like about them?
I mean,
you were the ball, like you were the sugar mama. So
I of course always felt the desire to get something.
Yeah.
Me personally, because that's a form of expression,
to give something?
To give something.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, to give something.
Well, so what's the most expensive Christmas present you ever bought a significant other?
Maybe like a motorcycle or something. I don't know.
So it's for you single guys out there.
No, it's usually like shoes and it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff that they can use.
Okay.
Especially like guys, they like tools and.
Okay, no, but you being in that position of having money, being successful, how was it on your husband's? Did you feel like they had pressure about giving you something?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think they went out of their way to get things they shouldn't have gotten. Like it's too expensive. But I understand it though. Yeah. I understand that, the desire for a man to want to do that kind of stuff and provide. Mm-hmm. So. But
would you still accept the gift?
I got to reject a gift. Like, oh, you want to return it and, get the money back and pay for something else. But no, I also think it's also when you learn a person over time, you start understanding and being more practical. Because like, what do you really want? What's going to make you happy? And if the answer is always like something material, then it probably is something you should question. Yeah. But
is Black Friday still a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I know it is, but I know it's not as bad as it was back then. I know.
Well, I think because there's Cyber Monday now.
2002, I worked at Best Buy. And that was when Black Friday was like crazy, when people would camp out. But I don't think people do that anymore. I don't think I said, because everything's online now.
Yeah.
And I think because there's been a lot. My gosh, man, if you guys want to watch something this Thanksgiving with your family, type in Black Friday compilation. I love stuff like that. I'm gonna let Des, talk about her Black Friday stuff, because I'm gonna pull up some stuff for you guys. Just a little treat real quick. Hold on. Have you done Black Friday? Have you ever went to?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was it crazy though?
No, it's technology places like Best Buy and stuff. It's always the craziest, but everywhere else, it's just sales that, everybody feels good when they save money, and you just go and you stand in longer lines and whatever. But I don't know. It's not.
I'm talking about like this. Do you remember this stuff? Like TVs. People just going crazy, right? And then look at falling over.
Yep. Walking over
like
people.
There's a lady in the motor, just boom, look at that.
Yeah.
Just people going that have died nuts, man.
On Black Friday.
Yeah. Look at that.
And they fight over objects. TVs,
oh my God. Just going crazy. Mm-hmm. Man, like I can watch this all day, every day. It's just complete madness. And I love it. when like they're showing something like this, and in the background you hear, "It's the most wonderful time of the year."
Fucking hot, man.
I mean, my gosh, man. Now, I remember this. So my Black Friday, what's it called? I guess experience was, I can't get enough of this, man. Like people just,
I mean,
going
here's the thing.
crazy.
Here's the thing. Is it worth it?
I mean,
What
to
is
these
your
people,
perspective? Was it worth it?
you know, if somebody can save $5 on a toaster, but see, here's the thing. Like Black Friday was, man, look at that, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I can watch this for days. Let me get into this real quick. So back then, Black Friday, like 20 years ago, they actually had like really good stuff. Like it was like really good merchandise that was going for like 50%, you know? When I was in Best Buy 2002, it was the first Black Friday. They would camp out. There'd be a line. And this is like when PlayStation was coming out, like all the video game stuff, you know? And I remember they were prepping us, letting us know what was going to happen. We had to come in at 4:00 in the morning. And so I worked at home theater. And I remember them saying like, "Okay, guys, we're about to open the doors. Get ready." And everybody's like, "Yeah, let's go, let's go." We're there. And I'm in the back of the store. And all of a sudden, they're like, "Okay, ready?" They open the doors right now. They open the doors. And just the sound of like, like
running and
everybody, like you just hear all these people running and like
stampede,
screaming. You're just like, I was freaked out. And then it was funny because there was a TV that we had on sale. It was a flat screen TV, not a flat screen like you guys think today. It was the TV,
so
the
not
old,
like the TV behind
the
us.
old tube TVs where it was fat and big in the back, but the screen was flat. It was Apex or something. It was like a weird brand, right? They forgot to pull them off the top shelf. So there was this item that people wanted, and they had a few on the floor. And then so me being, you know, probably one of the smallest guys there in home theater, they tossed me up on the rack. Cause you know, like if you go to Best Buy or something, so they have like space up on top, you know?
Yeah.
So they threw me up there and I was just like pushing TVs down, man.
The fuck?
Because people were just like, "Oh, they're up there." Obviously they didn't want people to like climb up the thing. And they were like, so they like, I went up there and I was just like, you know, just tossing the TVs down, man. And it was it was insane. And
it's way too much.
I mean, they had like DVDs. It was like $5 for DVDs, you know, like good ones. And like video games, it was like, you know, like $10 because you had like PlayStation games, you know, that were like 50 that are going for 10. But over the years, I've noticed that it's been more like generic brands, not really good stuff, you know? And I think obviously a lot of these stores got together. I mean, I think a lot of people are going, you know what, this is going to get really bad. This is a big liability issue. If somebody gets shot in our store, somebody gets killed, you know, not only did we give a bunch of like discounts, but now we got to pay out, you know what I mean? Lawsuits because of this. So I think that's why you've seen a lot of more stores do more like, you know, they start Black Friday this week, you know, it's Cyber Monday, it's online shopping and all, you know. So, I mean, I don't think people are doing that anymore, but my gosh, man, those are the days, man. Like just seeing people just fight. It was like people didn't care. They'd hit an old lady. They, you know, like
brutal.
Yeah. So, I mean, man,
that's just too much,
you know,
but you know, I mean, I think, you know, the point is this is a time when you want to put things into perspective and to manage, you know, the stress and the anxiety and things like that is, you know, my tip would be 2 things that are important because you asked me, should you just run up the credit card? Is to budget and balance. And so what I mean by that is be realistic, you know, have a budget that makes sense And I think it's an important thing. We've spent, a previous episode talking about things like budgeting. And I think it's a good thing to discuss with your kids because when they understand, okay, like when they make their Christmas list and they can't get 10 toys or 10 things, but they can get one thing that they really like, you could start to explain certain things.
That's like, one thing that my parents did. I mean, I can remember growing up and it was never like, I don't think we've ever like gotten like, maybe when we were really small because you just get like a lot of little toys. But I think over like after we were like 6 or 7 or 8 years old, it was always just like that one gift you wanted.
Right.
That you got. It was never this like, oh, we come down and there's like 10, 20 gifts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I've never experienced that. And it was fine. It was cool because you were like, oh man, you just wanted that. And then as you got older, you just wanted that one thing. Oh, I just want that PlayStation. I wanted that boombox. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted that Walkman. You know what I mean? You know,
you were like,
I wanted that easy bake oven.
Right. But so budgeting is important. That is a part of it because if money is an anxiety provoking thing, then manage it effectively. Don't create more stress. So then for the rest of the following year, you're like in a bad situation.
And we need to remind you because interest rates are up, credit card debt is going to be harder to pay down.
Yeah.
So
it's tough. Like doing those minimums is not going to work. Right. And then the second thing I would say is balance. Find the balance, because I do recognize that there are some situations where it's actually stressful to think about going to family and dealing with people that you don't want to deal with and knowing that you have, big, huge disagreements and argue, all the time. And so that might not be fun for you when you're like, that's not considered enjoyable. So when you find that balance, there might be those family dinners or get-togethers. But if that means also finding time for you, like do that. It doesn't have to be this whole miserable experience the whole time. But I get that that's a thing that people have to prepare for.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But it is also fun if you really want to have some fun to this Thanksgiving, just after you guys pray, you're there, the turkey's there, everything's there, and everybody prays. You just go like, so, what is everything about those indictments? Right. And just bring it up, just let everybody just
see what happens.
Throw a bomb and then go walk and check on the yams in the kitchen.
Just see what happens.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I know for me, I could talk, I could talk about it, but I understand though that
some people are not comfortable.
It just sucks because unfortunately there is just a lot of just stupidity and just a lot of just propaganda and people falling for stuff and just misinformation just going around. It's hard to have conversations because half the time you're trying to fact check each other, and at the end of the day, and then somebody just gets upset and then they just goes, oh, well, it goes from talking about politics to like, I never liked you anyway.
Right, pretty much.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's probably good to stay away from that stuff.
But you need, to me, I do think you need that balance. And I mean, I do think the other thing, I know this is something for me that I kind of come back to because I lose sight of it sometimes being really busy, is there's always something to be grateful for, and I do think Thanksgiving is a time that it kind of starts that and it makes you reflect on, as much as there are things that maybe frustrate you or get you upset and make you feel stressed. When you start to focus on the things that are grateful for, it shifts your mood, it shifts your attitude, and I think that helps. Is there anything else that you?
I mean, I don't know if you guys know the comedian Earthquake, but I love when he just says health is wealth, man. Like if you don't take nothing, just take care of yourself. You know what I mean? One bad move, one decision can change the course of your life, somebody else's life. I know it's happened in my family. I know it's happened in other people's families. I know recently you've had a friend that's going through something, and it's just, I mean, you don't want to be in a situation where you are in a bad situation and go, man, why did I care about all that nonsense? Why did I worry about that? I just want to just see another day, or I just want that person to be here another day. So, you don't want to wait for that. Hopefully you can take something from this and just kind of just, if you're fortunate to be around your loved ones this Thanksgiving and these holidays, just really cherish that, because you never know if this could be the last time,
Mm-hmm.
that somebody or a friend or family member is there. So, you kind of want to just think about that, especially with everything going on in the world, we kind of need that right now, we kind of need everybody to kind of put things into perspective and just go, okay, there's people right now that are just stuck on the other side of the world, not knowing where they're going to go, what they're going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even thinking about the holidays. It's just survival mode, but, it's good, but it's at the same time, it's good to have fun. If you are wanting to have a good Christmas, buy some good gifts. If you worked hard and you want to spoil your loved ones, that's fine. Because if you have the means to, definitely do it and enjoy it, because again, yeah, you could be in a different situation. So. Yeah, just be kind.
Right.
Be
like a page out
thankful.
Ellen's book.
Yeah, be kind, and health is wealth. You know what I mean? Take care of yourself, man.
Yeah.
So, but is there any Thanksgiving traditions that you have?
Thanksgiving traditions. Putting up a tree. Usually we do that.
Now you're Filipino, Hawaiian,
Yep.
Bay Area.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of like special traditions you guys have?
I mean, like this year, we pretty much decided on like a Filipino Thanksgiving, which is like, I think at the last minute, my mom was like, I guess we'll have a small turkey still.
Yeah.
And like the American stuff, but
it's weird because they, I saw before I was coming over here, I was watching the news and they were saying that more people are not cooking. There's this company that they deliver Thanksgiving dinner.
Yep.
And more people are just like, I'm not fucking. I don't know. I don't know if it's people just don't want to cook, or maybe there's just no big mama anymore, or no abuelitas that just cook in the kitchen all the whole time. There's nobody that wants to cook anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody's working. And people are like, I've been working 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week. I'm not cooking a damn thing.
I mean, so. It's funny because like, there's some people that are like, they'll work Thanksgiving because they get paid double. So they're like, my Thanksgiving is like, I'm going to come home and eat a TV dinner. Yeah. I mean, they're not, sitting there getting to do that whole thing. So, I
mean, I still like, some good turkey, a good roll.
Yeah.
A good holiday ham.
I think as far as like food, we do some of the American stuff because that's just kind of tradition. But I think
like what?
Like turkey and ham and all that. Yam, sweet potatoes, whatever. But
we recently made my family we started going to Dallas to watch the Cowboy game.
Yeah.
But it's been interesting because the first time we went, we were just like, let's get an Airbnb, but let's get like a old home, like just a Texas old home. We got this Scooby-Doo ass house. Like when you walked, it like it creaked, like the wood creaked. You know what I mean? At night, like you could hear stuff in the walls. It was just like a freaky ass house, but it was cool because it was actually the first time that it was my dad, my mom, mother-in-law, everybody was my sister. We all stayed in the same house. And we hadn't done that in so long. My parents are divorced, but it was cool. So now we kind of have the tradition now where we all kind of go and just kind of stay in one big house, together, which is pretty cool. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, we don't, my dad lives in Texas. We live here in Vegas. My mom lives out here, And the fact that, my parents are cool enough now, that, my dad has his girl, but she's cool. They'll come. They'll all stay, they'll all be cool, So that's kind of like a new thing that we're doing. So it's kind of like in football, I think to me is a big thing. Because being a Cowboy fan, it's like Cowboys always play on Thanksgiving. So, and there's been some bad games, man. I'll never forget the one where Dallas Cowboys played the Dolphins, and it was snowing in Texas Stadium, and the Dolphins were gonna kick a field goal. They kick it and they miss it. Right, the ball goes rolling down to the end zone, and Leon Lett comes and tries to jump on it. Big dude, why would you jump on the ball? And it's snowing. He jumps on it. It pops up like a soap bar. And Dolphins go and recover it, and it's a touchdown. And I remember watching this game. We're in El Paso, Texas. One of those they used to rent one of those pavilions at the park. So we had one of those, and the Phoenix Pavilion by my grandmother's house. And we were watching the game, and everybody's just like, "What the hell is going on?" Like it was just one of those oh my gosh, like one of those bad games, man.
Terrible.
Yeah. Which ironically, the Cowboys went to. I think they won the Super Bowl that year, but it was like one of those games that you were just like, "Oh my God, Leon Lett." He was the same guy that in the Super Bowl with the Bills picked up and did a scoop and score, and he was going and he put the ball down like he was like gloating. He was like, "Yeah," but right before he was going to make a touchdown, one of the guys from the Bills came and knocked it out of his hands. They knocked it out, and they were just like, "Leon Lett, come on, man!" But yeah, football is definitely like a big tradition in my family for Thanksgiving, and I like to keep that going. So
yeah, we come from a huge football family, but we just
49ers. Have they ever played on a Thanksgiving?
I think they're playing.
They are? No,
they're playing the Seahawks
on Thanksgiving. I don't think I've ever seen.
It's always the Cowboys that play.
Yeah, but I don't think
we mostly just watch. So
49ers are playing on
lose.
Are on Thanksgiving though. Oh, they are.
I know.
What? Yeah, I know the Packers always do. The 49ers are playing Thursday night.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. So you'll be tuning in.
Tuning every time. Don't care what day it is.
So what are you most thankful for before we get up out of here?
Thankful that my family gets to be here for Thanksgiving. So
your whole family.
Yeah.
All 6 of you.
And my uncle.
Oh yeah, he's coming down, right?
He already flew in from Hawaii.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. He's a cool. He used to be a DJ.
He wants to be a DJ. It's like kind of like a retirement thing.
Yeah. For me, man, I think it's just thankful for all the opportunities, and not just me, but for the city, man. The city that we live in. Thankful for all the stuff that's coming to the city. Being after coming here 12, 13 years ago. I can always say 12 or 13 because I don't really remember. I came in 2011 at the end, December. So
it's almost December again. So.
11?
So 12 years.
Yeah, so 12 years. So been here for 12 years and I've just seen it grow. And I think, and I've been able to have a lot of good opportunities along the way. But it's actually good because, I'm raising a family here and, having friends and family here. Just it's good. So kind of thankful for opportunities, not just for me, but everybody else around. So that's good.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a good one. We are back. We're going to be doing more episodes. Just want to get this one for Thanksgiving so we can take a little break. I know I've been going nonstop for like a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will be coming back with some episodes twice a week and giving you guys some good stuff, some good perspective, some good advice. Can't wait to start getting to the relationship stuff. Man, there's a whole bunch of new stuff coming for 2024.
Lots of stuff.
We got like a book coming out, podcasting coming out, music coming out. website, retreats.
Lots of stuff. Good.
You know, you might come out with a recipe or something, or like Dez's cookies or something. I don't know, man. Like 2024 just seems like there's so much going on.
Never know.
We got so much coming out for you guys. It's gonna be fun. So it's gonna be good. So happy Thanksgiving, y'all. This is DJ FNA. Happy Thanksgiving. And
Coach Dez.
Coach Dez. We'll see you guys. This is the Born Unbreakable podcast show. We out.